Okay. So, a quick question to y'all. What are we going to learn today? Any guesses?
What's up with you?
Good. Class has already started. Kids, come over.
Right?
Yeah, almost.
Let's take the tea.
Yeah. I'm saying it just started. Okay. So, any guesses, guys? What are we going to learn today? No notebook. Non-linear functions. Okay. And be little careful with the tables. Okay. Just make sure that you check once if it's firm or not. Yeah, Rush. Non-linear functions. Okay. What else? Okay, so let's start with the basic understanding of function. Who can help me understand what is a function? Hey Chris.
Hi, sir.
So what is our understanding of function? Describe that in English. This is not a math class today, it's an English class. Hello dear. Who can describe function in the simplest possible English, assuming your teacher is a 5th grader? Yes, Praneeth.
A function is like when an input is taken in a variable form, and that input is like processed through a equation, and an output is produced.
Okay. That's one definition. Any other definition? Yes, Chris.
Similar to what you said, like one input can only have one output.
Okay. So I have 2 narratives so far. Any other interesting call out? Mosquitoes bothering you? Okay. So let me do one thing. Let me close the garage door and turn on the AC. That might help.
Hi, sir.
Yep. Hello, beta. Hello. Hi, Dhanushree. So, who is, just be ready with your narrative for what is a function. I want you guys to explain function in the simplest possible way.
I'm getting harassed by mosquitoes. Is he? I don't think that's even
Okay. Any other interesting definition of function? Joseph. No. So what I will do is I will do some dead borrow steel here. So I heard 2 definitions, one from Praneeth and one from Chris. Where you said that one definition was saying a function is a way or a means where you give some inputs, it does some processing of that and gives you an output. And Chris actually further defined it saying function is something where you give one input and you get one output. So I will put them together, and my definition of function would be, or not mine, our definition of function would be that a function is a mechanism where you give one input and produces only one output by after processing it. So now let's look at how do we relate a function. So I'm talking about a function of x. Something is a function of something, right? How much marks you will get is a function of how much hard work you do or how much smart work you do. So this is the function of x, this is a function of effort. And this is described as, let's say, x square plus 8. I'm just making it up. So this is a function and this is a function of x. So based on what value you input for x, this outcome is derived. Okay? Or you can even make it more explicit by saying, okay, y is a function of x which is described as x square plus 8. This is your output. This describes that there is something going on, and this says how it is going on. Yeah? Yes. So let me quickly do a roll call and see who all have joined. So I can see Dhanusri, Dhanvin, Chris, Praneet, Purvi, Riya, Saranya, Shiv, Tansi, Thanu, Varun and Vishal. Is everybody able to hear me and see me okay? Okay. Are we all okay with what I mentioned or what I have stolen as a concept for describing function? Again, hearing back from you guys only. Yeah? So function is nothing but a mechanism, a method, a protocol, an approach where it expects us to give one input and based on that it gives an output. Okay? If I say I have a function of x, something, let's say x to the power 5 plus 9, and when I give x equal to 2, it gives me, if this is equal to y, I get two values, 3 and 9. I'm just making it up. Is this a definition of function? Is this complying with the definition of function? Yes. Praneet is right in giving me a thumbs down. And you guys have to be brave for giving me a thumbs down as well. Because the definition of function says that if you have one input which results into multiple outputs, that is not the right definition of a function. Can you just think of a scenario when you have a function but that is not defining the right function? Think about it. You all know it. You will laugh at me when I give the example.
Circle. It gives you two outputs.
So that's one example, right? So a simple example could be if I say function of x as in it is square root of, let's say, x. Okay? If I put a value of x equal to 4, it gives me square root of 4, which results into plus minus 2. What I am getting is two possible answers or two possible outcomes for one input. It defies my basic premise of what is called a function. Is it making sense? Riya, Tanu, Dhanushree, Dhanvin, Pranun, everybody okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Hanish, right? It takes me a couple of attempts to memorize the name, okay? So don't worry about it. I'm not ignoring it's a age that is getting onto me, okay? So, like the example that Hanish gave, that if you look at a situation like this, a circle, where you all know the equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared equal to, or let's say, r squared. Okay? And if I say 25, whatever it be. So, and if I describe this as y squared equal to 25 minus x squared, okay, or y equals to square root of 25 minus x squared, okay. So this equation of a circle, I converted it like a function. Now I'm saying, okay, my y is equal to function of x as this. Meaning, can I say that this is a right definition of function? You will say no, because if you now visualize this circle equation, you are saying that okay, this phi is my radius, and for every value of x, if I pick one value of x, I am getting two values of y here and here. If I pick this value of x, I am getting two values of y. So for every x, I have more than one output. If I treat this as a function, so this is not a function. It defies the basic definition of a function, which says that every function is qualified to be called a function if for one input you have one and only one output. Is that okay so far? Tanu, okay beta? Danvin? It's okay?
Sure.
Okay. Dhanushri, okay? Okay. Varun, Vishal, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now let's look at some of the situations that we will deal with and see if this is making sense or not. So let's say so we just learned what is the basic definition of function and what can be called a function versus what cannot be called a function. So at least now we don't have any doubt with respect to what is the starting point for a function. Any idea what is called a composite function? A composite function.
It's a function inside a
Function inside a function. Okay. Any other definition? Hey Sarah, Neil.
Sir,
So the question that I'm asking everybody is, we have learned function in the previous classes, Sarah and Neil. We are just kind of going through the syllabus one more time. So I'm assuming that most of you would be knowing about what is a function. So we just started that unit one more time. So function in simple terms is, function is a mechanism, is a process, is a protocol where you give one input and you get one and only one output. That's the basic definition of function. Now we are talking about the next element of that, which is called, or next variant of that is called composite function. So is there anybody in the class who can explain what is a composite function? I heard one definition. Yeah, Pranay.
Composite function is like when one function relies on another function to use its to like in its process. So basically, a function is not a function.
Any other definition? No. Function inside a function. I'll probably get some mosquito coils also. So I'm addressing the problems one by one. So in the evening classes, I'm getting mosquitoes now. I'll get this. So I heard two definitions. One is function inside a function. Our second definition is when one function determines what will be the outcome of the second function. So both are same thing, two different representations. Now let's look at it. If I say function of x is, let's say, x square minus 9. And if I say function of g is function of r. This is a situation where I'm talking about a composite function. Meaning, when this function determines what will be the outcome for this function, and this function's outcome will determine the outcome of this guy. And I can say, okay, this is equal to, let's say, if I say this, g of x is x cube minus 25, and we have been asked to find out g of f of x. So this is one function which goes by this formula. This is one function which has its own definition. Now when you combine two functions where one function's output becomes an input to the second function, that is when we are talking about a composite function.
Could you also say composite function is where one function equals to a different function multiplied by something?
Not really. So, see, there is a situation like we are talking about. So, this is what I am calling as complete function. You are saying that will I say g of x as a complete function if this equal to 3 times, and I will say no, because here this function's output I am just multiplying. So this maybe we can call it equivalent function maybe. Okay, I am just multiplying it. But this function's input is not going for the calculation of it. I am just multiplying. It's a multiple of that function's outcome. But then you are making me think, which is a good sign. I am just thinking, no, this one you will not call, because this is not becoming an input for this function. You are just using the output and multiplying with something. So there is a difference between this situation and this situation, where this is becoming one of the variables that you deal with. Here what will happen is, if I go for this, whatever is this one, it becomes function of x cube minus 25. And now you put the value of function of x, which is nothing but x squared minus 9, cube of that minus 25. So this is very different from this one, where when this one function becomes an input itself for the second function, that's when you call it a composite function. So now to the class. So there was a very interesting question that was asked, right? First thing when I said, okay, what is a function? Okay, you have one input and you get one output. That is a function, basic definition of function. Then we said, okay, fine. What is a composite function? When an input of one function becomes, when an output of one function becomes an input for the second function. So, output of this function became an input for this function. This one is called composite function. The question was, if I multiply one function by something or divide one function by something, will that be called a composite function? And the answer is no, because you are still not taking that as an input. You are just multiplying it. Okay? So this situation of function of, let's say, g of f of x is a valid scenario for composite function versus, or let's say 9 on this. These two should not be considered equivalent in terms of definition of composite function versus not a composite function. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Riya? Dhanushri? Okay. Now, we have talked about function, composite function. These are all theory. And somehow math is not a subject that goes very well with theory. It has no existence, no meaning to it if we don't do some problems. So let's look at one of the problems. The question, I'm reading the question for you guys, okay? So all the kids who are first timer in the class, there is one very boring concept, I call it silver bullet. Read, analyze and then do it. So don't rush for solving the problem. Always read your question, then put your thoughts together before you try attempting solving the problem. Okay? So I kind of tried to annoy you guys a little less. That's why I went a little fast. But yeah, coming back to the point, let's look at one problem. Okay, I'm at the read phase. if function of x equal to 3x minus 1 and g of x equal to x squared plus 1, what is the value of g of f of 3? Let me write it here. If function of x equal to 3x minus 1 and g of x equal to x squared plus 1, what is the value of g of f of 3? I will rely on your mental math. Okay?
Okay, so it says x is 3, so immediately I went to f of x and replaced the x with 3. Oh, so that's 3
So,
times 3.
tell me the answer.
That's 65.
65? Okay. Because I want everybody to try their approach, okay? Let's see what Vishal says. Yeah, Vishal.
I got 65.
65, Praneeth?
65.
65. I'll handpick some of you to explain what went in your mind while solving it, okay? So, that's why I'm not letting everybody describe it, but yeah. Neem, Sara, Ria, Saranya, Tanu, and Purvi. What's your answer, beta?
I'm sorry.
Still working on it.
Jack.
Yeah, Tanu?
I'm working on
Okay, okay. Varun, how about you?
I got 65.
65. How about you, Tansi?
it. I got 65.
How about you, Shiv?
Still doing it.
Still doing it. Saranya, you also got 65. Okay. How about you, Saranya?
Oh, it's actually kind of hard to get more.
Okay, I will read it for you, okay? So everybody pay attention to what I'm shouting out, okay? Function of x equal to 3x minus 1. 3x minus 1. And g of x is equal to x squared plus 1. X squared plus 1. So what we want to find out is g of f of 3. F of x is 3x minus 1, g of x is x squared plus 1, g of f of 3 is what we are trying to find out. Yes, yes, Dave.
That's 65.
Okay. So I'm waiting for some of our new kids. So Purvi, Tanu, Saranya, and Hanish. You got 65 already? Sahib, same. And not because I'm trying to put anybody on the spot, I'm just trying to make sure that we are able to approach the problem in the right way. Yes, Purvi.
I don't really understand how to solve it. Like, I get that you put the 3 in the x, but I don't know how you would solve it.
Okay. That's fine. That's okay. I mean, not a big deal. So that's why I'm bothering everybody, right? Because that gives me an opportunity to do something. If you guys know everything, then what is there for me to do? So that's okay. Tanu, how about you, beta? I'm sorry, beta?
I don't know how to solve it.
Oh, okay, that's okay. And I must appreciate Purvi and Tanu for being so very honest. It's very important, okay? Everybody says 65. It's very easy to say 65. But then it is in our own interest to say that, okay, I don't know this, and not knowing something is perfectly fine. That's what we are here for, okay? So I would want each one of you to be very honest with me so that I know where I have to put effort, okay? Yeah. Saranya, what would you better?
I don't know.
Okay. Fine. Yes, Tanvir?
What is the last number of the second function? I can't see it later.
G of x equals x squared plus 1.
Okay.
Yes, Dave.
This asking if I could like try explaining my thought process.
Yes, let's see if Dave can explain this. And then I have one kid who was first in giving the response. I'll come to you as well. Yes, Dave, say that in a very simple way. Assume I'm a fifth grader, okay?
Okay, so in the most simple way, the way I did it was like I worked inside to outside. So I first did f of 3. So I see like f of 3, we could see that we could plug 3 in for x. So I did 3 times 3, which is 9. Then I did 9 minus 1, so I got f of 3 is equal to 8. So then I put like, oh, then it must be like g of x should be g of 8. Then I'm plugging 8 for g of x. So then I see it's x squared plus 1. So I did 8 squared, which is 64, plus 1, which gives me 65 times.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope everybody heard Dave. Yes, David, go ahead.
Okay, so I saw x in f of x, which is 3, so I multiplied that with 3, and I replaced with x, so it's 3 times x, which is 9, and then I subtract 4, which is 8, so then I squared 8, 64, plus 4, 64.
Okay. So Dave and David both explained the same way. Now let me downgrade myself. Let me solve this like a fifth grade student. Okay. So let me write this question clearly. Function of function of x is equal to 3x minus 1. This is the first part of the question. And g of x is equal to x squared plus 1. And we have been asked to find out g of f of x. What is the value of this one? G of f of 3. Okay? So, everybody. So, Purvi, Tanu, Saranya, Dhanvin, everybody, okay? Here, and again, I just call out some names. It's for all of you, okay? If I have to solve this problem, I'm reading the question again and again. I have been given f of x equal to 3x minus 1. This is a function. I'll get some output based on the input of x. Yeah? Tanu, Purvi with me, beta?
Yes, sir.
So, this function says, again, see, I might get a little boring when I'm explaining things, but just bear with me, okay? So, when I have function of x equal to 3x minus 1, if I read this, what it means to me is, okay, based on, this is a function of x, and if I give some input for x, I'll get the output, 3x minus 1, okay? That's the first function. There's a second function which says, g of x is equal to x squared plus 1. So if I know the value of x, I'll put the value of x, I'll get the g value of it. What has been asked here is g of f of 3. I know how to find f of x. So if I have to find out f of 3, I'll put x equal to 3 and find the value of f of x. Here it's a composite function scenario where whatever comes as the output from this guy becomes an input for this guy. That's why it is composite function. Let's not even worry about what is composite function. Simple thing is, if I knew the value of x, I would have put here in g of x to get that value. I don't know that yet. And I would know that from this guy. So let's look at this. F of 3. What is f of 3? I'm trying to find it out. I know x, y, z. I can put the value of x and y. I can find it out. What is f of 3? Oh, this f of 3. I know how the function of x is defined. So if I go to that guy, okay, let's find out this value, then I'll see what to do. F of 3. F of x is 3x minus 1. So f of 3 will be 3 times, in place of x, I will put that number, minus 1. So f of 3 I got as 3 times 3, 9, minus 1, 8. Okay, so now since I figured out what is f of 3, I can substitute this value here. But before I do so, Purvi and Thanu, did I run very fast or it was okay?
No, it was okay. I understand it now.
Now you can relate, right? So our biggest problem was this guy. We know how if I have x, I can substitute the value, I can find it out. Our problem started from here. Instead of x, I got f of 3. So it's like a nesting that is happening there. Function inside a function. And that's what is composite function. So now we can simplify our life by replacing f of 3 with 8. So let's do this. F of 3 equal to 8 is what we have found out. So here, this is what we have to find out. G of f of 3. We know that this is 8. So we have to find out g of 8. How do you find g of 8? Oh, we have method given here. G of x is x squared plus 1. So if I replace x with 8, my job is done. So g of x we know is x squared plus 1. So g of 8 will be, in place of x, I will put 8. 8 squared plus 1. This becomes 8 times 8, 64 plus 1, 65. Yeah? So it's like we are decoding. There is no complex calculation involved here. We are just decoding it to make it similar to what we know. If you know this is a function inside a function, I don't like function inside a function. Let's get the absolute value of this and then deal with it. Yeah? Does it make sense to everybody, including me? Now, see, I upload video of the class on YouTube. People upload videos on YouTube to get likes and subscribe. I don't do that. But here your thumbs up or thumbs down at least gives you the confidence that okay, I'm going to find the right path. Yeah? Shiv, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Clear, making sense?
Yeah.
Done? Yeah? Okay. Okay. I mean, when I'm asking this, I'm just trying to make sure that, did I explain that in the simplest possible way for you guys to be able to relate? Is it coming to you guys or it's not? Somewhat? Little bit? Better? So, can I assume that this one was okay to digest so far? Tansi, Saranya, everybody okay? Alright. Let's move on. Let's go to something more interesting. Now, do I want to draw a graph? No, I don't want to. Let's look at another problem. Okay? Because problems are like ghosts, okay? Till you don't see the problem, it scares you. Till you don't see the ghost, it scares you. The day you see a ghost, that fear will be killed. Right? I'm not sure if anybody has seen a ghost, I have not. Since I struggled to see a ghost for the last 29 years, so now I've given up the hope of seeing a ghost, so that fear is gone. Okay, now let me read this question for you guys. Let y of x equal to cube root of x cube plus 1. Which of the following is equivalent to y of x? Again, I'm reading the question, okay? It might sound a little cryptic. If y of x is equal to cube root of x cube plus 1, which of the following is equivalent to y of x? And you have 4 options. Cube root of x cube plus 1. This is option A. Second option is cube root of x cube plus 1 plus 1. Third option is cube root of x cube plus 2. Fourth option is cube root of x cube plus 1 cube plus 1. So let me read the question one last time to keep advertising my scheme. Y of x is equal to cube root of x cube plus 1. So x cube plus 1 is inside this cube root, okay? What is the value of y of x? And these are 4 options given. I would want you guys to solve this without solving it. Isn't that interesting? I want you guys to solve it without solving it. So I will keep on giving vote to all the options, and I'll come back to you guys to pick your brain to figure out why you came to one option. Yes, Arush. D. Okay, one vote for D, one vote for A.
It's D.
D. Okay, 2 votes for D, 1 vote for A. Now let's see. Let's do voting. Think it's D. And if you are thinking D, you will have to justify it also. I would want to hear your thought process as well. And again,
Can you
yes.
say what equivalent to the answer or
What
what is the answer?
is the answer?
Answer is equivalent to
Sorry, Rita?
Head's in the way.
My head in the way. Okay. Okay. So I'm reading it for you guys. Okay, you guys can see it. Okay, let's go to Purli. Purli, what's your which option your vote goes for? Louder, better. D. Okay. One more vote for D. Save.
I also said
Did you say D?
yeah.
Okay. One more vote for D. Okay, Dave.
I'll also go.
You also go for D. Tanu. I'm sorry, sir. You are working on it. But see, here was the thing. I was saying that I want you guys to solve it without solving it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thinking about it. Okay, okay, that's fine. Danvin, Neil. Neil is saying that you are coming on to our way in the class, so I have to stay away from the class. Okay, yeah. Anish, you'll go for D. D seems to be gaining majority. We'll see. You Tansi?
I got
You also got D. Okay. Dhanushri also got D. Okay.
Yeah, I think I also like
Chris also got D. Okay. Okay, I'll stop putting the arrow mark next to D now because this guy seems to be doing a clean sweep rather than gaining majority. Okay, now let me randomly. Okay, I will let Thanu complete her thought process. Saranya, how about you, beta? Okay. How about you, Vishal? Vishal, what's your answer for this one?
I think it's D.
Okay, you think D. Okay. No, I don't want anybody to solve it. I'm sorry, beta? You think it's D. Okay, how about you, Varun? You think it's D. Ria, Sarah, Neil. You think it's D? D. Yes, I'm sorry, Neil? You're saying B. Okay. Now B is not feeling lonely. Okay, that's good. How about you, Ria? I'm sorry, Rita? Okay, it's B. Okay. Yeah, Pranit.
A.
You'll go for A.
Yeah.
Okay. Now A is not as lonely as it was before. Okay. Yes, Aranya. Sorry, madam. Say it one more time.
I got
You got D. Okay. So D is in majority. So let me hear Saranya's point of view. Why you think it will be D? And give me a story, not the calculation. I want to hear what went in your mind to come to D, because when you are in SAT like exam, you don't solve all the problems. Some of the problems you will apply your thoughtful evaluation to get to the answer. So yes, Aranya, tell me a story with her. What went in your mind? Okay, okay. I will see, one thing is for sure. I mean, not one thing, there are two things, okay? If you guys spend 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years with me, there are two things that I will ensure. One is playing with math, and second is making you guys a good storyteller. Whatever you think, if you are able to narrate that story, that makes your understanding much stronger. Okay, let's see what is Honey's story. Honey's story, yeah. You tell
Not
me.
the problem.
Yeah. What went in your mind to come to D?
So for y of x, I saw the problem above, like the cube root x to the third power. So I just put that inside that. And I substituted the same equation, which was x, back into that equation. So I got d.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a red plus, but I just saw like that's a complete that's extra power 3 plus 1, right? So I just thought like that's extra power 9 plus 3, which is also equivalent to extra power 3 plus 1. So that would be what to say.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
As you were writing it down, I used process implementation. So the,
Yeah.
so the first one, I knew it couldn't be that because that's literally just y of x, not y of x.
Yeah.
And then B, it's like, I mean, it's technically right, but it's not, because it arrives to the same conclusion, but like, not really.
Mm-hmm.
And then C is like, not, it doesn't even come close to that answer. I just thought you would be.
Okay. All right. So I'm just validating if I had put all the options correctly. Okay. So as some of you explained, let's see. Anybody in the class wants to give a quick narrative? Shiv, do you want to give a quick story to me? What went in your mind to come to D?
So when I did D, so I saw that yx is 3 cube root of x plus 1. Right? So it's y, and then yx again. So y is the function that I can just say it's f and it's just another placeholder. So it would just be f of x. So it would just be 3x cubed plus 1 multiplied by again put another x cubed plus 1 inside that cube.
Okay.
And so it becomes x cubed plus 1, which is already there, and that becomes the x, right? Because there is already two y's. That x cubed plus 1 becomes the x. So it's cubed plus 1 inside the cube because of the outside.
Right. So, see why to all the kids, okay, when I insist on the story part of it. See, when you solve a problem, there is a lot goes in your brain. Okay. So here also, when you look at this problem, what I mandated in the beginning was that you have to solve it without solving it. What I mean by that is, you have to find out ways to not solve it. Because see, if you go with a normal approach, what will you do? Okay, y of x. Let's find out what is y of x. Function inside a function. This bothers me actually. I want to simplify this. So y of x is given to me. It's already given to me. It's cube root of x cube plus 1. Okay? Now if I put this whole thing here, this becomes my new x, and then I can substitute here and I can find it out. What I don't want to do is solve this problem. And that is where the technique called elimination comes into play. If you have 4 options to choose from, one way is you can solve it and pick up or pinpoint at the right answer. Or if you have a way to eliminate the 3 wrong answers, then also you can get to the right answer. You have to always take a call based on which one is faster for you. Are you okay solving it and doing it quick enough? Or are you going to be faster when you eliminate three of the wrong answers or wrong options? So that is where you have to take a call. So here I was kind of insisting on going the second route where you eliminate the options. Now look at this. Y of x is cube root of x cube plus 1. This is essentially y of x. We are trying to find out y of x. This is y of x. This is y of x. Not y of x. Sorry, y of, yeah. Yeah? So this one is ruled out in the first glance itself. Now look at this. This is what? This is y of x. This part is y of x plus 1. Yeah? So this option is also not equal to y of x. You will tell me why. Because when you are putting a function inside a function, you are taking a cube root of square of 1 plus 1. Here, this guy is just simply adding 1 to it. So this doesn't seem to be the right option at all. Am I reaching everybody? So whoever gave me, yes, Vishal.
I feel like it might be C, I'm not sure.
No, so I'm kind of eliminating right now. I don't have to be accurate, right? I'm just trying to eliminate. Okay? So this one doesn't seem to be an option. Now this guy is what? This guy is a little tricky. I mean, I'm not able to say it yes or no with my bare eyes. But this is something like y of x, and inside that y of x would have been cube root of x cube plus 1. Instead of 1 it is 2. Doesn't seem very convincing. But when I come to this guy, it makes me think one thing, okay? If I look at, you should look at this situation. Y of x would have given me cube root of x cube plus 1. So whatever is the value of Vishal.
So when we're inserting square root of x cube, cube root of x cube plus 1, and then into the second, like into the x value, aren't we getting rid of the cube root?
Yeah.
So then, does it also get rid of the right?
So you have to hold it for 1 more minute, okay? So what I'm trying to do here is, look at this. When I have x, it says cube of x plus 1 and then cube root of that whole thing. If I know that this is my y of x, if I replace this thing, so if I visualize this like this, y of x, instead of y of x, I am putting this as cube root of x cube plus 1. This is whole thing is my x. And if I do a cube of this, see, this whole thing, if this is my whole thing as x, it will become what? Just quickly look at it. It will be cube root of whatever is by x, it's a cube root of x cube plus 1, and this whole thing cube plus 1. This is your x, this is your x. I am doing a cube of that plus 1. So this cube root and this cube root will cancel it out. So this becomes cube root of x cube plus 1 plus 1. Okay? So the one here, which was kind of sounding the most convincing one, was because we looked at cube root, but when you do a cube of cube root, you are knocking off the cube root part, and this whole thing remains in place. What happened here? This became x cube plus 1, and then you had this 1. So where our option is going? I was saying that this doesn't seem to be an answer because this is translating to this. So that is still correct. Where I'm coming now? Is it making sense or not making sense? So again, when I saw so many answers coming for D, trust me, for a minute I was myself wondering that am I going to say yes for D? And that's why when I was here, I was kind of lost here. This is this plus 1 inside. Okay, we'll see what exactly it is. That's why I did not rule out this guy. I went to this guy. Because see, that will be a very common situation that you all will come across. That it might become that okay, you have one solution that you can go for, or you are contemplating between two of the options. And now so again, from this I am saying that this is the answer. Okay, nobody gave me answer C, so now it is my yes Purvi.
Isn't it option B and option C like almost the same thing? Because option B says 1 plus 1. And when you like simplify that, isn't that like 2?
No, because this is inside the cube root, right? And this is outside. So it's like this. Cube root of A is not equal to this plus 1 is not equal to cube root of this. These two are different. Put some value here in place of A. Let's say A equal to 4. It becomes 4 into 4 into 4, 64 plus 1. Cube root of that will give you 4 plus 1, 5. And here it's 4 times 4 times 4, 64 plus 1, 5. Cube root of 65 is not equal to 5. Is it relatable?
Yeah.
So, see, optics will give you the clue that okay, this is looking right, but this is actually not right. Yes, Vishal, you're saying something.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, because like when we're cubing it, then they cancel out this cube root.
So I am killing everything here. Now let me solve this for you guys. Okay? While I said that we'll do it without solving it, now let's go the simple, the dumbest approach for solving it. Okay? We know y of x equal to this. We have to find out y of x. Now when I have something inside a function, that gets me scared. I don't like this, right? I mean, if you ask me multiply 2 by 10, I can do it. If you said multiply 22 by 10, this is a little tedious, right? It takes effort. I always look for simplifying it. So, function inside a function, that's confusing, okay? Let's simplify it. So, what we are saying is, let's find out the value of this guy alone. And then we'll say y of that thing. So, y of x from here is cube root of x cube plus 1. This is y of x. If somebody says this, that means I have to put this whole thing inside this. So we have to find out y of cube root of x cube plus 1. So this whole thing is my x, okay? This whole thing is my x. So here, if this is x, what this function says, cube root of x cube plus 1. So whatever is my x, cube of this. So basically it will be cube root of this is my x. So x cube. So cube x cube plus 1. This is my x, cube of that plus 1. Okay. Now it's like 1 by 3 into 3. This gives you 1, right? So same thing here. Whole thing to the power 3 and here it's 1 by 3. Yeah? So this cube root of cube, something like this. This kills these two 3 and this. Yeah? So same way here it will become cube root of cube root. So this 3 and this 3 will be gone, bracket will be gone. This becomes x cube plus 1 inside this one, and then you have 1 outside. So this becomes cube root of s cube plus 1, that is s cube plus 2. And that is how option C is what we can rely on. So, okay, let's do a quick health check. So, what did we do? We just learned what is a function, what is meant by a composite function inside a function, or a function becoming an input to another function. And then we looked at, while the concept was very easy, it is all about getting your hands dirty. So when you solve a few problems, right, that is when you will realize that what is the right technique that works best for you. Whatever I am saying here may or may not be the best approach that you might want to follow for yourself. I can guarantee that 80% of you are smarter than me. 20% are more smart. So the point that I am trying to make here is, there's no one school that you have to follow. Everybody will have their own technique that they can derive based on the basic concept, but you will be able to derive your own technique for getting the right answer by practicing a few problems in that space. Concept is what we learned, we looked at some problems, and then the next class we will double click on some more problems and then go to the next steps. And that is when we will talk about isolating quantities or using some different techniques for making our life easier. Again, net, whatever we are doing here, there is only one intent. Any problem that we solve or try solving, we have to look at how do we simplify for solving it. Does that make sense? Okay. Purvi, Saranya, Thansi, Varun. I'm trying to get so many likes. No, that's not the intent. So, is everybody clear? Dhanushri, clear with her? Riya, Tanvin? Chris, no doubt? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then I can have a good night's sleep. Thank you so much. And I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good sleep. And I'll come back to haunt you on next Thursday. Some of you will deal with me tomorrow. Alright, bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Bye-bye.